You can't know what it is to stand on that stage with a full moon and the orchestra playing up a storm. It's just to die. I've seen actors walk out on that stage and give a performance you didn't know they had in them, because it's such a great place to play.
In 1973, Debbie Reynolds was at the Muny starring in a production of Irene. The evening was cloudy, and when the sun set, the rain began to fall. Audience members rushed to the pergolas or held fast in their seats under umbrellas. Little did they know that through these clouds, the stars would shine. Miss Reynolds made her way to the stage, walked out to the passerelle located below the orchestra, and the band struck up, and she sang from the MGM classic that made her a star, Singin' in the Rain.
The world began to change in the 50s and 60s. The rise of popular entertainment from TV and film shifted the dynamics of the industry. This new culture gave birth to a generation of talented performers. The Muny saw this as an opportunity to create even more value for its audiences. The star model was born.
Well, I mean, when I started out, the shows were star-driven. We did Man of La Mancha with Herschel Bernardi, who had done Fiddler on Broadway for years. We did Take Me Along with Gene Kelly. But there was a certain thing about you came to see Pearl Bailey and Cab Calloway in Hello Dolly. You didn't just come to see Hello Dolly with somebody. You came to see Pearl Bailey and Cab Calloway in Hello Dolly.
People knew Merman, people knew Mary Martin. A lot of those people also grew up in a culture of vaudeville. So touring and going out and see the cult in the country was part of what they believed to do, right? They knew that that was a good thing. There's a great biography, it's here somewhere, on Bob Hope. He was a genius at that. And the structure of television was you began filming your series in September and you were done in May. So they would all go to summer theater.
With the advent of the star model, countless performers have played the Muny stage. Florence Henderson, Yul Brynner, Carol Channing, John Travolta, Betty White, Cary Grant, along with so many more talented individuals, have shared their gifts with this St. Louis community.
I think it's still a destination for people. The same way it was historically when there were maybe fewer names in that pantheon of like who were the best of the best. We're blessed to be in a generation where there's an abundance of sensational talent, but they still want to be here at some point and share that with this audience and community. So that makes me hope and believe that we're doing something right.
But many of the stars that we know and love today performed at the Muny before they reached the height of their fame. They cut their teeth and discovered their process right here in Forest Park.
The Muny gave me an understanding of what Broadway caliber performing is and what I needed to do to get there. Without it, I think I would have had no idea. And I'd come here and I wasn't that good, so I was often like just in the back, but I got to and observe and take notes. The Muny's fast-paced, and so that it was kind of just like thrown into the fire as a young person of like, this is theater. But in that you learn the expectations and the hard work you have to put in and the teamwork.
Yet when I auditioned for the Muny and got in as a chorus member, which they called us then, it was not easy. It wasn't like, anybody, you just get in. No, it was very stringent and very, there are only so many. But I think it had a lot to do with the level of professionalism. I think the people, when you talk about Cary Grant worked here, and this one worked here, and that one here, it's because the level of what was being done here all the way back was always up to a certain level.
The Muny did more than simply create opportunities for young artists, though. They sought to cultivate an environment where education was accessible to the entire community.
There's also those moments where you see someone like, they're like 12 or 11 right now, but watch out world when they're 20. But you look at a lot of the kids in our youth programs, and you see that like their talent for the stage part is beyond the norm.
And the professional actors are really great with the kids. They take them aside, they talk to them about the business, about college, about a million other things. So it's just an invaluable education for them.
The Muny was always a place where young talent in the ensemble, in the supporting parts, in some of these tours, could get their big break, or do their first work, or learn how this business operates, or how to be in a show. At our 100th anniversary, Tommy Tune stood on stage and said, I choreographed my first show at the Muny.
And I was the choreographer.
Like, this has been the place where we find talent, we take risks, we say, great, let's go.
The Muny has seen countless stars come across its stage and has ushered a few into the world itself. But regardless of the names in the playbills, one thing is certain. The real star of any production here is the Muny itself. It's the trees, the breeze, the stars in the sky that gives us reason to gather. And that is what makes the Muny the brightest star of all.
The Muny was always present tense.